What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Comically Boston. I'm your host, Big Cam, and today we are talking about my weekly nerdy news podcast where every Monday we talk about what happened over the last week in nerddom and movie castings and new posters that came out and just general news from around the world. And it wasn't too crazy a week, but there were certainly some things to talk about. So let's jump right on into it, shall we? This movie I have been very much so anticipating all year. The trailers I saw for it looked amazing. Timothée Chalamet is definitely on the rise in his career, and he's about to become such a household name and potentially a Oscar nominee this year for this movie and Dune Part 2. But this movie's also directed by James Mangold, who's done things like Ford vs. Ferrari, did the Logan movie with Hugh Jackman. I really like him as a director, and he's tackling here a Bob Dylan biopic. Edward Norton's also starring. Ella Fanning is in here. Boyd Holbrook, I believe, is playing Elvis or Johnny Cash, one of the two. But Bob Dylan's one of my favorite musicians, so Timothée Chalamet tackling this and doing it much like Austin Butler did Elvis and actually singing is very hard to do and also, risky to do, because what if he sucks or doesn't sound enough like Bob and then people hate it for that reason? Like, that's a dumb reason to hate a movie, just because the guy didn't sound similar enough. But like, Austin Butler dove in and sounded like Elvis, and I believe Timothée Chalamet is doing this here with Bob Dylan, with the hair, with the look. And I don't know what he's shooting right now. I don't know if he's shooting like a Fred Astaire or like a Charlie Chaplin biopic or something, because he's got a crazy haircut, crazy thin mustache. I don't know, but Timothée Chalamet's the man, so I really hope he gets his Lisan Al Gaib Oscar win for Dune Part 2 early next year. But award season's coming up. I know Golden Globe Awards just came out recently, or nominations, and The Penguin was nominated, Agatha All Along was nominated, so I believe all is right in the world in that sense. But speaking of shows, the new Game of Thrones spinoff, A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, has officially wrapped, I believe, and will be coming out sometime next year in 2025, and I believe the show is set 1 year after House of the Dragon and 1 year before the events of Game of Thrones, if I have that correctly. I believe it's going to be in between those two shows, but some people don't like this because they believe it's too close a period of time, and it might be, but I'm still going to be fascinated to see the story of Duncan and Egg, where Duncan the Tall is this big knight, which I believe is this guy here, and Egg is Aegon, which we know that name, probably Targaryen, probably going to be this little guy, Egg. And yeah, I believe Egg was also mentioned in Game of Thrones by that Targaryen that was on the Night Wall on the Watch with Jon Snow. Comment below, though, are you looking forward to seeing the Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, or A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms? I know this next film for sure I am definitely heavily anticipating is Ballerina, coming out with Ana de Armas. This now has an official release date of June 6th, but this poster here is gorgeous with Ana de Armas. She's got the crazy back tattoo, and if you guys know me, I love me some ink, so Ana de Armas looking sexy as hell with this back tattoo. But the trailer, the one trailer I did a breakdown for on this channel, did really well. So will you guys be seeing this in theaters? Will you be waiting to see it at home? I'd love to know either way. I know I'll be probably seeing it and breaking it down on the channel, so stay tuned for that. Disney and the Pirates of the Caribbean people are trying to get another Pirates of the Caribbean movie made, and I believe they have 2 scripts going right now. And I don't know if it's 2 separate movies entirely, or if it's one movie and they're either going to pivot with or without Johnny. I believe everyone wants Johnny Depp to come back, but I don't know if Johnny Depp wants to come back because of the way that Disney treated him. And Johnny deserves an apology from Disney, and Disney should give it to Johnny and, make amends and see if you can get this boat righted, because I don't believe you could do another Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Jack Sparrow, right? Like, I would probably still watch it as long as the score was still there, like the dun 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 bum, 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 bum. Right? Like, it's such a classic score, and those movies are so good. But much of the movie that you love is Jack Sparrow, Johnny fucking Depp, right? Like, I don't know if you could do it without him. Comment below, would you watch a Pirates of the Caribbean movie without Johnny Depp, or would you rather see him in it? I would rather see him in it. Speaking of things that you are gonna have a hard time watching with or without somebody, the Harry Potter series for HBO Max, or Max, that they're making, has some very interesting castings. Now, granted, you can't have the same people from Harry Potter doing it, right? Because those people, much of them have passed, like an Alan Rickman, like Robbie Coltrane for Snape and Hagrid. But they've been, all week we've been hearing just random names. And most of them I saw and was like, this is crazy, there's no way that that's even possible. But there's two that I was like, this might be true. And one of them here is, sorry if I'm butchering your name, is Papa Isidu has been offered the role of Severus Snape, and this is a young black guy, and I mean, I could totally picture him doing a great Snape. I'm not sure, I recognize his face, but I'm not sure from where. But, you know, he seems like a young black guy, a little ripped, so maybe we're getting a younger take on Snape. I would love to see this same black guy with that hairpiece, that little black bob that Alan Rickman always repped. But, like, for people like me, this poor kid is going to have to put just an absolute expert masterclass of acting performance on as Snape for us to like him at all, because Alan Rickman was so good, right? And just, the voice, turn to page 394 now, Potter. You know, like, it was so down here. And you can hear the difference in my voice when I speak like Snape, but when I start to try and speak, it sounds like Cleveland from Family Guy. But if you toss it back into the back of your voice and down here in the nasal cavity, you can turn to page 394. Taking a walk in the moonlight, are we? Snape's iconic. I mean, can he not be iconic? And this other casting for the Harry Potter show that I don't know if I could picture it or if I need it is Roy Kent, Brett Goldstein as Hagrid. What? I mean, Robbie Coltrane was kind of a bigger guy, but they had him on stilts and all this type of stuff to make him look like Hagrid, so obviously they could do the same thing to Brett Goldstein. But I also picture Brett Goldstein as Roy Kent, nice skinny, kind of good build, and to picture him with a giant beard and a giant fat suit and giant wig hair and then a giant, right? Like, would be so funny. And then, like, his Hagrid wouldn't be as nice, I don't think. I mean, he's a nice guy, so he probably could. But I think they would make his Hagrid more like a Roy Kent, where he's just, fuck you. You know, like, just gurring and And if you guys don't have Apple TV Plus and you're thinking about getting it, a perfect reason to get it is to see Brett Goldstein as Roy Kent in Ted Lasso. The whole show, even if you're not a big fan of comedies or soccer or Jason Sudeikis or whatever, the whole show is so funny for the people, right? Like, the actual stuff that's going on isn't that funny, but the actors and the way that they interact with each other are so good and so funny, and Roy Kent you buy into so hard. Like, he's here, he's there, he's every freaking where, he's Roy freaking Kent, you know what I mean? Like, if you get it, you get it. Like, Roy Kent. Moving on from Harry Potter and Roy Kent, Invincible Season 3 has now had a poster, and this comes out just a couple days after my birthday in February. My birthday is February 3rd, so coming out February 6th, which I believe is that Friday, is Invincible Season 3. Now, these guys in the background with the little orb, you know, Cyclops eyeballs on their heads, I have no idea who they are, but they don't look very friendly. But I know this guy that, fuck, what is his name? Invincible? Wow, it's been a while. Oh, Mark. Mark's his name. Mark's beating up Cecil? It's been a while since I've seen Invincible. And this is my biggest gripe with Season 2, was it was 5 episodes, and then like 8 months later, 5 more. And that time jump was just way too crazy. Like, I'm almost positive there's people that saw those first 5 episodes of season 2 because they liked season 1 and then completely forgot about it and never came back. I know I almost did. I came back just because I opened up the app one day and it was like, hey, new season, last 5 episodes, come see it, you know. But the way that season 2 ended and that season 3 is heading towards, I believe we're going to be getting the blue and black suited Invincible, which in the comics is a darker Invincible, which is very interesting. So if we're getting a darker take of Mark here, beating up Cecil, I don't know, man. Maybe he is heading towards Omni-Man closer and closer. That's not good. Over the last weekend, though, the box office was crazy for Moana and Gladiator 2 and Red 1, and Wicked was huge. For me, I've been trying to see Wicked for 2 weeks now with my mother on the weekends, and every theater has been sold out, and it's wild. I'm like, dude, there's no way that this movie's doing that well, but it is. So, you know, I love to see people going to the theaters to watch movies, but, you know, sold out. I'm like, God damn, I just need 2 seats and not front row. I refuse. Like, but Denzel Washington in Gladiator 2 was by far my favorite part. And Gladiator 2 has now become his highest grossing film, which is, for him, shocking because I thought his movies would have grossed more, but Gladiator 2 grossed $326 million. American Gangster comes in at number 2 with $269.75 million. And I don't know if that's just Denzel or if that's the Denzel and Kurt Russell mix in American Gangster. That's a great movie. Safe House, that made $208 million. I remember I've only seen that at home or on TV. Philadelphia, I haven't seen, $206 million. The Pelican Brief, $195 million, I haven't seen. The Equalizer, wow, 1, 2, and 3 all made around $190 million. And The Equalizer 1 made the most with $192. Ooh, very interesting. That those movies all, so pretty much every single person that saw The Equalizer 1 saw Equalizer 2 and 3. That's pretty wild. The Inside Man is $186 million and Deja Vu with $180. I mean, to have 10 movies all almost grossing $200 million is pretty damn good as an actor. I would have thought he had bigger movies. Like, doesn't it feel like Denzel Washington has been in bigger movies? I don't know. Like, I know Avatar's the biggest movie ever with like crazy like $2 billion grossed at the box office. But doesn't it feel like Denzel was in a couple of those? I don't know. Now I'm trying to picture Denzel as a Na'vi in the next movie, just kind of like blue and the motion capture suit on. I think he'd be great, but he's also got too iconic of a face and voice that I don't think you'd be able to hide him with CG if you wanted to. There was also a brief little image here. And there was, I don't have the clip, but there was like a little skit promo featurette thing that got put out for Captain America Brave New World. And it was about Joaquin Torres's becoming Falcon. And he's talking to Cap on like a Zoom call or like over his like comms. And he's like, hey Cap, I'm thinking about my Falcon suit. And what do you think about green for a color? And we see the first image here of Danny Ramirez, the actor playing Joaquin Torres, in his Falcon suit, where it's going to be like the comics, where it's got some green tones, maybe some yellow tones, some red. And I'm tired of CGI helmets, but I guess when the helmet has to retract back, it has to be CGI. But I would love to see Marvel get back to more like the Iron Man 1 suit, where it's like big and clunky and a real thing. Like, we want to see our actors grab a helmet, put that thing on, and it go, you know, like, that shit just sounds so good. Like Darth Vader, like, you know, like that noise it made. We love that shit. Like, oh. Speaking of, the last 2 things that we're going to talk about today is 2 brief little topics. What If Season 3 coming out in a couple weeks in December here. And this is our first official image here of Cohorty, and we also have the mighty Thor, God of Lightning, Storm over there, over her right shoulder on the left side of the screen. And over Cohorty's left shoulder on our right side of the screen, we have a character called Birdie that we haven't necessarily met yet, and this is going to be voiced by Natasha Lyonne, who is also in the new Fantastic Four movie. So, is this character Birdie her character in the Fantastic Four movie? Or is she voicing like Herbie or somebody else entirely, and this Birdie character is just somebody else entirely? maybe. But I would be fascinated to know if this birdie character, which we see her with like wings or something, almost like a lady falcon, but like, I don't think she has tech. I think she just has wings or something maybe, hence the name like Birdie. But I would be fascinated to know if this is the same character she's going to be playing in July in the Fantastic Four First Steps movie. What if season 3? Will you be watching it December 22nd when that comes out? I know I'll be breaking it down on the channel for you guys. So the last topic of today, there was rumors going around of a Young Avengers project, and then there was like the Disney cruise liner had this footage of America Chavez and Ant-Man's daughter, Stature, or Peanut, what's her name? Cassie Lang, and then Dominique Thorne over there as Ironheart, Riri Williams. The three of them were together in this thing, and everyone was like, oh my god, why are the Young Avengers together on a cruise liner ship? This doesn't make any sense. And were they really together? And everyone was like, no, that looks like they were from this, this, and this, and they were all separate, and they just like CGI'd them together and like, you know, edited it so they looked like they were all in the same room. But Xochitl Gomez here, with a post to Instagram, has confirmed that she actually was on set and with Catherine Newton and Dominique Thorne over there, and the three of them were all filming this random thing for Disney Cruise Liners, which is so strange. But I mean, I'm looking forward to the Young Avengers, but I don't know if I would call it the Young Avengers. But I know for sure I want to see these ladies all come back. Maybe not Catherine Newton, she's my least favorite of the three. But Xochitl Gomez as America Chavez, I really need an Ironheart in March, I believe. Or I believe coming out next year at some point. Dominique Thorne as Riri Williams, Ironheart. I am so fascinated to see where that show goes. She's from MIT, which is in Boston, where I'm from, but she's also from Chicago, right? Like, so she's got a story to tell. Anthony Ramos is going to be in her show, possibly connected to Mephisto and the Devil. I don't know what's going on there, but I'm fascinated to see. Comment below which of the things I talked about today are you most interested in seeing in the future. If you have any topics I missed from the last week that you'd like to talk about, throw those down in the comment section below. If you have any recommendations for me or things that you'd like to see me talk about, message me down below, or you can message me on my other social medias. Links for all those down in the description below. My Letterboxd, my Instagram, Twitter, all that stuff. Big Cam, pretty much anywhere. 2 G's in that big. Comically Boston Instagram. I'm now on Blue Sky as well. X, you know, all of the stuff. So go follow me over there. And if you've made it this far in the video, thank you so much. The best way to support the channel is by liking this video, commenting below, subscribing if you're new, and hitting that bell so you don't miss future videos. My name's Big Cam. Thank you guys so much for coming on by, and I will see you beautiful people in the next one. Peace.